Thank you for tuning into this video. My name is Lester Leavitt. I am a PhD student in the School of Public Administration at Florida Atlantic University. What you're going to see here is part of my dissertation project, and I wanted to go over these posters a little bit to help you understand what my work is and perhaps see that my work might have an application in how we reconstruct governing, not only in the United States but throughout the world. What we found out in 2011 was that protest narratives are not governing narratives. And what I've designed here with these posters, and what I hope to show you, is that there is a vehicle in this new organization. It's actually a new institution. It's a virtual governing institution that's been built to be free of hierarchy. And what it's designed to do is actually provide some narrative control, not only in constructing new governing narratives through this virtual institution, but in actually controlling those narratives so that you can weed out the discordant voices and perhaps reach consensus a little more easily. And so these two posters here outline a vehicle, the engine for that vehicle, and the fuel that will actually propel the vehicle. So let's start with a governing institution that is free of hierarchy. In a traditional organization, you might have something like this. If you have 18 individuals in an organization, my background is in nonprofit, so you would have an executive director. If your background is in a corporation, you would have a CEO. But regardless, 18 individuals in a typical organization would have subordinates and superiors, and eventually you would come to somebody in the middle who has the ultimate power. I'm going to call those people the organizational elites. And what happens with organizational elites is that somehow, some way, somebody comes into the picture and they co-opt that person so that they no longer represent the entire organization as effectively as you should have them represent the organization. So what we have here in this picture beside that is the same 18 individuals, but they're structured in a way where they are put into small consensus-building groups. Frederick Thayer in 1973 did a whole bunch of studies, and he cited a whole bunch of other studies in public administration and business theory. And he showed how the most effective group size, the most effective size for consensus building was to have the groups limited to 5 or 6 individuals. If you have more than that, then you end up with power struggles and you end up somehow forming, because we're so conditioned to a hierarchical position, or we're conditioned to the power of the vote, that if you have a larger group than that, some people will always get left out. They will form a little subgroup because everybody disagrees with them, and you won't end up with consensus. What you will end up with is a decision, but the decision came at too high of a price because some people would have felt alienated in the process by being involved in too large of a group. So my structure here has one group of 6 in red, one group of 6 in blue, a group of 5 in green, and then a linking group in this black square, which has 6 individuals. And that's how the decisions and the opinions and the participation in these outside groups come together to actually steer the organization. My organization has been, I will speak in terms of the Occupy movement or the Arab Spring movement. So let's say we have a protest narrative, and we've identified problems that we want to bring forward, and everybody has these problems at the top of their mind, and now it's time to come together with policy proposals. So if we look at the blue circle here of 6 individuals as the policy group, and we look at the red column here as the media group, then what we have is we have a mechanism of communicating our message, and we have a mechanism of focusing that message. And the operations group will actually run the organization. The steering group will be in charge of actually providing narrative control by bringing all of those together. So this organization here, now that I've identified 18 individuals, let's assume an Occupy group can identify 18 individuals who will participate in this type of an organizational structure. There will be lots of people behind them, and I'll get over to that in a bit here about the collective membership that are actually behind those 18 individuals. But the 18 individuals that will actually steer an Occupy group at a city level will fill these positions here. Now, at the height of the protests in 2011, there were 951 cities in 82 different countries. In my diagram here, I want you to imagine 10 cities that are represented here by this graphic. So if you stack those 18 individuals as horizontal planes on top of each other in 10 different cities, then what you have are 180 individuals that are in this, represented by this column here of organizations, and they participate in the following way. If we look at the policy group here, you can see vertical columns of individuals who will be highly specialized. I've identified 6 policy campaigns that would do a pretty good job of capturing any issues and concerns that might come forward at a city-based group. I've identified 6 genres of media, so that all written media, visual media, spoken media, videography, performing arts, and installation art, exhibitions, those type of things, can all be represented and brought together by specialists. So these 18 individuals are highly specialized in what they do. In the operations group, you'll have the accountant, you'll have the technology guru, and this person in the middle represents the unifying force that actually brings those individuals together, because these groups aren't going to form themselves, and that's a chapter entirely by itself as to how of my dissertation. I got a 12-chapter dissertation out of this project. So that is the engine, and the next video, which I would invite you to watch, will be this is the vehicle. So what I've identified here is the vehicle. And next I will do another short little video that will describe the engine and the fuel. And thank you for watching.